All right, let's get started. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Emnix Plays Path of Exile Scourge League. We're streaming today. So you know, just want to say hi to everybody. Everybody in chat, hi. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. Insane says very sleepy. Gonna chill for a few hours here. Yeah, you know what? Like Arcade Canuck said earlier. Today is a little rainy for me as well. You know, there's a little bit of rain outside, and I'm like, man, it's a little gloomy, but it's like the perfect day to be playing games. Dark Pact's good so far. Skeletons only Act 6 in the Western Forest, playing on Xbox. Well, I'm glad to hear that I'm not the only one still progressing into acts. I know there are some people out there who are like way out there. They're doing Scourge maps, and they've killed Awakener 8 Cyrus, and they've done all that stuff. And meanwhile, I'm here like, hey guys, we're in Act 7. Damage pretty good, like 2000 DPS. Not bad. We're clearing everything. Like, what is our DPS with Bane? 5,000 actually. 5,000. It's actually pretty good. But you know, in terms of the character itself, our character has been doing really well. For those of you playing spell builds, I highly recommend you give Honourhome a try. I never really paid much attention to this skill, but it's a 4-link, or at least if you can get it to a 4-link, that gives +2 to socketed gems. And I think in the past, the way leveling worked, like way back, right? It's like you would look for +1 to gems socketed in this weapon. That's how it worked before, right? So say you have a wand, it would be like +1 to fire gems socketed in this weapon, and then everyone was looking for those kinds of mods. And then eventually, at some point, I actually don't know when, it changed to +1 to all spell gems anywhere. It doesn't have to be on your weapon. So now I could potentially get +2 in here, maybe +1 on a wand, maybe get a second wand that's also +1, and I can get +4 to spell gems while I'm leveling. So that's awesome. So like, you know, for those of you who are just leveling, this thing costs one chaos. Hey, Rubber Batman, thank you so much for the subscription, man. I honestly, you didn't need to. I really appreciate it. I'm just happy that you're here. But thank you. But yeah, so this helmet, this is the first time I tried it out, and my damage has been really good as a result. You're a wizard, Emnix? You're a wizard. Turtle, I'm looking forward to so yesterday Turtle was hosting a Harry Potter movie night, and I freaking love Harry Potter. I freaking love it. Unfortunately, I had to go to bed because it started getting a little late. It was like midnight, and I had to go. But I was having a great time watching the movie. I'm looking forward to the second one, Turtle. I'm looking forward to the second one. For some reason, Harry Potter is like a Christmas movie for me, or a Christmas thing. Like during Christmas, my wife and I, we reread through all the novels, like the entire series during Christmas. And like we just go through the movies. It's like Die Hard, right? Die Hard's a Christmas movie, isn't it? Just like how Harry Potter is to me. Maybe it's because like they make Christmas seem so cool in the books. So like it always reminds me of Christmas. Anyways, I'm looking forward to the next movie. I had a good time last night. I had a great time. You're a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. My gear sucks as well as I'm trying to do the content, but the results have been terrible. I think I just need to focus on my gear and resistance now and forego the league. The Scourge League is tough. This is the first league where I'm like, man, you might have to focus on defenses a little bit earlier than you're used to. Because normally, you're just like putting everything into damage just to try like rush to maps or something, right? This league, if you don't allocate the defenses in like at the proper time,
when I'm ready,
or you just go even harder into damage, I suppose. But if you don't have like the correct gearing, it's a little slow, like in the Scourge part. Definitely you need to max your resistances. This is very, very important. There are these like laser dudes in the Scourge that do lightning damage, and it like one-shots you from like across the map. They're really strong. So yeah, definitely make sure you max out your resistances. Take a look in like the evasion and suppression stuff. It's pretty good this league. And also take a look at using some utility skills. Like what I like to do is I like to have a void sphere around, so that the moment I activate the Scourge, I can drop a Void Sphere and hopefully they won't attack me and get sucked in instead, right? Slow and steady. I only just reached Act 8 playing Energy Blade, Lightning Strike, Inquisitor. That sounds like a cool skill combo. Insane. That sounds really cool. I'm really looking forward to hear like how that goes for you. I originally did want to play Energy Blade, but I'm like, I have no idea how this skill builds, like at all. So that's part of the reason why I started with Bane. I'm like, I kind of need a league starter this league because I didn't think too hard about how I'm gonna build my character. I still want to play Arakali's Fang, but you know that's gonna be down the road. Yeah, bro, your Discord meeting dream really helped me to love Path. So $5 is the least I can do, and like all your videos on YouTube. Hey, thank you so much for the support. Honestly, it actually means a lot, sincerely. Thank you. I can't wait to watch the second movie. Been so long since I watched them. Dude, I love Harry Potter. I can't wait. I'm actually looking forward to it a lot. Thoughts on the Scourge buffs? Use hardcore builds, it helps. Hardcore builds are definitely, you know, they're definitely more defensive focused than life focused. I made the mistake of not really thinking too hard about it, and then somewhere around Act 6 or 5, I was like, whoa, Scourge is like two-shotting me. Like I would have, what was it? I think it was a couple episodes ago. In Act 6, in the Ridge, it took me like 15 minutes to get through the Ridge because I kept dying to Scourges. And it's such a large zone that if you get sent back to the starting spot, like just running back takes forever, right? And as a result of it being a large zone, you can run multiple Scourges in the zone. And so like I died like 3 times. And I was just like, okay, this is getting a little bit ridiculous. So right now I'm focusing on my defenses as well. I'm trying to get enough reduced mana reservation so I can run Grace and get some evasion. And again, like I said, I'm trying to use as many utility skills as I can to help myself out by fostering my defenses. You know, Void Sphere, this black hole, you suck them in. Hopefully that's a nice utility. I'm starting to use Steel Skin a bit more as a defensive mechanism. Normally I ignore guard skills until maps, but now I'm like, hey, I think it's time to use it. And as always, like the resistances, the moment I maxed out my resistances, it made a big difference. As it should. You know, this is like, I feel like in a way, this is the game teaching you, hey man, like don't ignore your resistances. Like everyone keeps saying it, but at this point, it's like you're beating a dead horse, right? And some people take it for granted, but no, like max out your resistances while leveling, especially if you're doing it like, if you're going at a slow and steady rate and you're not rushing, just take the time and max out your resistances. I think that's more important. I'm following a very confused build guide. The website and POB, the link disagree a lot, so I'm using it mostly as a general idea. Honestly, that's the problem with build guides, because often it gets thrown together and you need like a good number of people to vet the thing itself, right? I mean, anyone can make a guide and post it, so it's kind of hard to see which ones are good and which ones are bad. Which is, in a way, why I'm so appreciative of content creators themselves, because, you know, they go through a painstaking process of making a build guide. So Ziz builds are always my go-to, since I'm a 200-hour pleb, and I also ask Dream 100 questions a day. Hey, man, Dream is the most knowledgeable person I know when it comes to this game. So I ask her a lot of questions as well. I don't blame you. Oh man, I'm having a good time. I'm glad it's Saturday, man. I'm glad it's Saturday. I just these days I've been playing at such a casual rate. Like over the weekdays, I just don't have time. I've been pretty busy with some, you know, like a bunch of shit, basically, like work, like personal stuff, right? But like the weekend is when we just go. You know, normally I want to be able to spend my time and hang out with my wife and all of that. And when I'm playing and streaming, obviously it's really hard to do, especially since streams kind of, if you guys don't know, like you can't just stream for 30 minutes. It doesn't work. Like for a YouTube video, I'm like, that's why I'm like, most of the time I'm recording YouTube videos instead, if you see me online. It's like a YouTube video, I could walk away, right? I keep talking about this. I could walk away and it's fine. A stream, you gotta kind of be on. Anyways, over the weekdays, I'm hanging out with my wife a lot. I've been watching a lot of TV and all of that stuff, but my wife is working right now. She's kind of busy, and I'm like, holy crap, this is my chance. Time to go stream, boys. I'm like running downstairs, hopping out the computer, get the coffee. Dream has 14,000 hours. Holy cow.
When I'm ready and not before.
Yeah, bro, I'm right there with you. I did 52 hours of work this week, so I'm enjoying a nice cigar right now outside watching you. Hey, man. I'm glad that you're spending your precious weekend with me, if that's the case. You know, I appreciate it. And then at the end of the day, I hope you're having fun, you know? I guess that's what it comes down to. If you guys are having fun and enjoying your time here, I really do hope you enjoy your time here. At the end of the day, though, you know, I hope you guys are having fun. I'm having lots of fun just hanging out with you guys. And I hope that shows. Dream ain't human. Dream is actually just a monster in this game. And she went hard in the first day, too. I didn't know how she did that. I was like, oh, man. Like, I thought about logging on, and I'm like, oh, crap. I got other stuff to do. I drank some wine. I'm like, forget it. Turtle, how's your New World progress going? Has your server completed an invasion yet? Have you guys completed one yet? Those are so hard. We managed to get down to 5 minutes yesterday, and then we lost. Those things are so hard, man. I only have 700 hours. Still have no idea what I'm doing 60% of the time. No, honestly, I have a lot of hours. I'm like a bad example of this game, though, of people with a lot of hours, because I have a lot of hours. Like, not just a few, I have a lot, right? Like, I've been playing since closed beta. That's in what, whenever Diablo 3 came out. And
there's no time.
Anybody would know at this point, I'm a terrible player. I'm such a bad example. In a way, it's like, oh, it's a disgrace. It's like, how? How do you know so little about this game? And the problem is, this game changes way too... Oh, what is this? I got distracted. This game changes way too much. You know what I mean? Like, you disappear for like a league or two, and all of a sudden you're playing a completely new game. And then every league they come out with like a patch notes that look like a thesis, like a PhD thesis, man. And you're like, how am I supposed to go through all this and know what's good and what's bad without like running freaking data models? Even though I know how the game works and I know how to play it, you know, I don't suffer in that regard. I know how to, like, I guess, I don't know how to make a build. I know how to follow a build. I know how to read a build and like get the key points out of it, I suppose. But at the end of the day, there's so many mechanics that I don't understand, and it's like at this point I've gotten used to the fact that I'll never understand it. I'll learn every league. I learn a little bit more, and I'm just happy that there's always something new to learn, because that's what makes it fun. You should install the chaos recipe thing. It helps with passive money making. And heist cheat sheets. So heist cheat sheets I have. The chaos thing I don't care too much about, because at some point I outscale it. Like pretty quick, I think. Yeah, I do have a little cheat sheet. I can show you what it looks like.
Just make life complicated.
I use Awaken PoE trade, and every time, let me show you. Every time I find like a cool cheat sheet, I add it, because what you can do is you can add pictures. So for example, let me show you. When I have this thing, and this is part of Awaken PoE trade, and I got all kinds of little cheat sheets in here, you know. This was from last league. I don't think I added anything for this league because I haven't been playing that much in the late game, but I have one for betrayal, I have one for heists, and these are just things that I use really quickly when I'm like, okay, betrayal especially, right? It's like, where do I want these guys to be? And I would look at this real quick and like, okay, for, you know, intervention, I would prefer to have, you know, maybe Riker, because I like Blighted Scarabs, right? I don't necessarily look at the red, greens, and yellows. That's sort of like an indicator of what's good and bad, but I do look at the values themselves of what's available. And then I use the heist one, obviously, which is actually quite useful. And over here, what is this? Oh, like if you have influence items, what are some cool things they can roll? I used to look at this thing just because there's so many influence mods and I never figured it out. I never bothered to remember them. This is, at the time, what were valuable cluster jewels because I was rolling a lot of them. This is if you want to roll prophecies, which ones are the most common prophecies that you want to sort of have in your tab, and that way you can block these common prophecies. And then this was stuff for last league. But yeah, so that's what I was using for a while. I still use it on occasion. I have a layout thing I alt tab to so I can run Axe in like 6 and 7 hours. Okay, yeah, like a leveling guide. I have a lot of friends who did that, who still do that, I think. But like you, they're relatively new. At this point, I think I memorized most of the layouts. Like I can kind of feel which ones are good and which ones are bad. All right, these talismans are interesting. Especially since my current amulet is pretty poo-poo. I'm looking at the damage one. And that one interests me, but... Do I lose resistances? I do not lose resistances. How much stats do I lose? I lose quite a bit. But I can still run... Okay, I don't... Okay, it's fine. So which one do I prefer then out of these two? This one has... So this is a good indicator of how to choose gear, right? You see these rare items, they have all these lines of stats, but really a lot of it is garbage. The only ones I care for this one is... The chaos damage is nice. And then cold resistance. Those are basically the only ones I'm looking at. Everything else is dead stats. This one is life regen, 73 to life, 34 to lightning res, and then some mana. So this one has more useful stats. This one has damage. I'm like, oh man, but damage. Look, I want to run more Scourges, so I think I go with this route because this at least gives me a lot more HP. It gives me 130 more HP. Right? No, how much more? I actually get less HP this way. What do I get then? Life regen. That's still not bad. Maybe I'll take it. Scourge it? Can I Scourge it? Can I Scourge a... Talisman? No. What? You can? I didn't know. I'm closing in on 250 hours in New World. You are insane, Turtle. But, you know, okay, no, to be fair, I'm playing a lot as well. But I don't think I play it like you. I play it like very casually. You know, I chop trees. I don't actually fight it. Like my watermark is non-existent. Okay, so we got this and we got the trial as well. Alright, let's go start going this way. Let's get that map done.
When I'm ready and not before.
So how much life regen do I have now? Ooh, that's very good. 194.4? Basically 200 HP life regen? What's that versus my old amulet? Whoa. Calm yourself. It went from 150... Okay, so we got like 40 more life regen per second. That's insane. That's actually really good. Just because of 2% life regen? Really? For this level, that's really good. What was the helmet you had equipped? I have the Honourhome. I bought it for 1 chaos. One thing you have to keep in mind is Honourhome can potentially roll +1 to socketed gems or +2. It actually has a range. So just make sure you pick up the +2 if you're thinking of trying it out. It's like no defenses, admittedly. No defenses at all. Like armor range, no, there's nothing, right? Like the only thing that's important about it is +2 to socketed gems. Hey Turtle, thank you very much for the resub. Thank you. 7 months, man. It's been so long. Of course, just as I typed that, I got 2 commercials. Really? Sorry, let me show you again. It is the Honourhome Soldier Helmet. And again, one thing to note about this helmet is that it can roll a range of +1 to +2 socketed gems. So if you're planning on buying it, I don't know if you can farm it. If you're planning on buying it, make sure you get the +2. That's the only thing that matters. If you can get it as a 4-link, that's even better. But I bought it for 1 chaos as a 3-link, and then I just 4-linked it myself once I had enough currency. I bought it pretty early on, in like Act 3 or 4 or something, like very early. And that basically supported my damage this whole way. And at this point, I'm just looking to roll some weapons that that has +1 to all spell gems, and that way I'll get like +3 to this thing. I think if you're playing any form of like chaos spell damage, any spell damage build, I think having this thing is going to be a big boost to your damage. So I got +2 on my helmet, and I got the mastery over here that gave another +1. Losing 10% of life and energy shield is, you know, it's a lot, but if you get enough regen, so have vitality and 200 regen a second, right? It's basically enough regen that it's not a problem. All right, 10% chance to suppress spell damage while on full life. Well, on full life, I didn't see that one. Okay, well, it's fine.
When I'm ready, and not before.
But yeah, hopefully that'll help you out with your damage if you're actually having damage problems. And there are really two issues when you're running these, when you're in Krangleverse, right? Well, we'll just call it what it is. It's Krangleverse. One being that you don't have enough defenses, so when you do get hit, you get like 2-shot, and that's bad. But the second reason why you can potentially die a lot is you don't have enough damage, and there's so much like mob density in Krangleverse that potentially you could get surrounded, and that'll kill you too. So instead of getting killed in 2 hits, you die in like 12 hits, right? But they all happen at the same time. So if you don't want to get surrounded, I think the solution actually just to get more damage so that you kill them before they get to you. And if you don't want to get 2-shot, you need a bit of defenses, life. Probably not energy shield if it's so early on, if you're in Act 5 or whatever, but or Act 8. Cool, got one for 1 chaos on Xbox. Yeah, they have to. I would imagine they're like super cheap. You know, just nobody would want it except if you're leveling. So, the heck, how do I get over there? Here? I have 0 AFK hours, and yeah, I'm gear score farming like crazy in a bunch of wars. Yeah, I don't. I feel like we're playing 2 different games almost, Turtle. I'm the support character that's just like feeding everybody crafting mats. But it's fun for me because like often I just play like on my phone while I'm watching TV with my wife. You know, like if I was playing on my computer, I would definitely be farming gear score. But since I'm like playing in a way where I basically don't do combat, I'm just gonna go chop trees and, you know, farm rawhide and all of that stuff. That's basically how I hit level 60. I just, you know, gathered my way to level 60, which is crazy.
Such magnificent talent. And you wish to learn.
Alrighty. Large cluster jewel. So you can kind of see, like, my damage is getting... It's pretty good, and for the most part, I really like playing damage over time builds, just because of the survivability aspect. You know, you drop your damage or whatever it is you're doing, and then you just sort of run away. Whereas if you're playing something that requires you to, like, stand still and cast, that's a little bit more dangerous, right? You can kind of imagine when you're stuck in place and then you're getting surrounded. And maybe even worse, you don't have enough damage to kill them in time. So you're stuck in place trying to kill them so that they don't surround you, but you don't have enough damage so you can't help it. That's probably like one of the worst case situations. And it sucks if you have to just sit still and farm for like gear. while you're progressing, like typically you should be able to find stuff along the way, right? Like maybe you need to refarm some zones for levels, but that's about it. Actually, that's another thing. If you're finding yourself if you're not doing that much damage, and I think in like Arcade Canuck's case, right, where he's playing Bane, not Bane, sorry, Dark Pact, like it's a spell damage build. It scales off of gem levels. One thing you could do just to increase your damage a little bit, and which is what I did, was I farmed like a single zone maybe 3 or 4 times. And it got maybe two or 3 levels out of it. I just like full cleared the zone. It took maybe 10-20 minutes. And those levels helped a lot because they basically increased my gem level. And your spells, they scale so much off of gem levels, which is why the helmet is so good, right? Because you get +2 to gem level. So even if you can increase those levels by a little bit, it'll make a big difference. Normally, if you're playing like some kind of attack build, so like Insane's case, right, where he's playing energy. Actually, I don't know how Energy Blade scales. I have no idea how that skill works. Is it a spell? Is it a... I guess it's a spell. Actually, don't know. Anyways, if you're playing like Lightning Strike, right? He's doing Energy Blade, Lightning Strike. If you're playing Lightning Strike, the increased gem levels for Lightning Strike doesn't make that big of a difference. I don't think it does. Right? There's no flat damage aspect of it. So, like, what's more important in those kinds of builds is the damage of your weapon. So I guess if you can increase the level of Energy Blade and it's flat increased damage, maybe it makes a diff? I don't know. But yeah, like, you know, if you're playing a spell build though, and you find yourself not doing enough damage, like one thing you can do that's easy, right, is like you just farm for levels. You don't even need to farm for gear, which is what I did. And then after that, I'm like, maybe let's get some gear too, and I got that helmet. I was thinking of running the first heist over and over again to get gear. You get decent gear off of heists, but I think for the most part, you're more likely to just get currency, which is not a bad thing. For something like Dark Pact, I would imagine it would be similar to what I'm running. At least leveling. When you're in the later games, you know, your gear requirements change, but you know, one thing you can focus on is trying to get +1 to all spell skill gem on your wand or your scepter. I don't know if you're using, I doubt you're using a scepter. Probably your wand or your staff. You could be using a staff. It's a buff, removes 80% of your max ES, replaces your main weapon with a sword that does lightning damage based on your new max ES, which makes gearing easy. I have some level 20 swords since its stats literally don't matter. Wand and shield. Yeah, okay, so it's just like me. So if you can get +1 on your wand, that would be a big boost as well. But +1 is, it's kind of hard to find in the early game. That's purely RNG, right? Ow, what the heck, that hurt. But if you already picked up a Chaos Cluster, one thing you can also try if you need more damage is to pick up that +1 to Chaos Spell Skill Gem Mastery. That would help a lot with damage as well. You just need to make sure that you can counter the downsides, which is you lose 10% HP and energy shield every time you cast.
Too much clutter.
I'm really curious how the energy blades skill does. I know you're only in Act 8, Insane, but I hope it's going well. Remember, it sounds like it's going pretty well. It's not my damage that I'm worried about, it's my poor resistance that I need to fix. Oh, yeah, for sure. If you don't have resistances, it's a little rough, this league. But, you know, there's 2 parts to it. You don't, you know... Like, you can fix damage in 1 or 2 items, and then everything else, it just goes into resistance.
There's no time.
Fire, cold, lightning, res. But no life. Some evasion. And some energy shield. How much resistance though? 29 plus 11 plus 16. This is a lot more resistance, admittedly. Hold on. Okay, this would up my resistance a lot. I would lose life. I would get more ES, and I would get basically the same evasion. What about the skills? Okay, so maybe I would want a couple more sockets on this thing. Yeah, something like that. Maybe recolor one or two of them. Yeah, that would work. Okay, let's switch it up. And it's not crangled either, which is nice. Lose a little bit of life, but I get a lot more energy shield. Maybe the payoff is fine. Okay, our boots are pretty bad. Wait, are they? They're decent. Resistances and 25% movement speed. I mean, the movement speed is the only one that matters. Alright, let's go for, I guess the evasion ES. No movement speed? I will say no to that. The skill is cool so far. At least this POB tree is good. I have 1000 ES with the buff active. Have you tried? Can you do like wacky things like using the temporal rift skill? Where you like snapshot your HP, you use energy blade and you snapshot back. Do you keep your buff? I'm 51 fire, 29 cold, 72 lightning. Yeah. Time to pump up those numbers. Get those numbers up. Get them up.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Alright, Silk, give me that key. Alright, let's keep going. Sanctified Life Flask. One thing that I actually need to remember this league is that it's actually not a terrible idea to be upgrading flasks. Like at some point I stop upgrading flasks, right? Just because there's no need, I already have all the flasks I need. But this league, flasks item level actually matter. So, you know. And it only matters if you're rolling it. Like if I have a white flask, I guess it doesn't matter at all. Finally catching you live. Hey! Jerome, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good Saturday. I know I haven't been streaming that often. But hey, good to see you. What are you playing PoE as well, or what's your character? I have no idea what that means, but I doubt it. As soon as you turn off your buff, the weapon reverts to normal. You know how there's that new skill? Hold on. Slinging DP. Dark Pact. Wait, is DP Dark Pact? You can sling that? That's pretty cool. How do you get the quest list to not show on the right? You go into options, you go into UI, and you turn off quest tracking. Alright, we got 2 Dark Pacts in the house. We got Arcade Canuck playing Dark Pact with Necromancer Skellies, and we got a Spellslinger Dark Pact. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we need to get high-level flask this league. Yeah, it's something I normally don't think about very often.
Unfortunately.
Be well. Be well.
Okay, temporal, blah, blah, blah. Let me find that skill for you, Insane, and then, I mean, I can test it for you. Temporal? Huh? Is that not what it's called? Temporal Rift. And then energy blade? Energy blade. Okay. Let's test this real quick. So, I'll go in my hideout. So energy blade. Which one? This is Temporal Rift. It's energy blade. Energy blade, energy blade, energy blade, energy blade, energy blade. Okay, so energy blade. It costs. Wait, it's a buff. Oh, so literally it reserves a portion of your energy shield. It just disappears and it turns into damage.
When I'm ready.
Interesting.
And not before.
Okay, so and Temporal Rift, what it does is you create a copy of yourself, and then after 4 seconds, I think you get teleported back. Oh no, if you press it again, you go back to your previous state. So like say you go down to like 0 HP, you go back to your previous state. So what happens if I use Energy Blade and then go back to my previous state? No, it's the same, huh? It doesn't work. Okay, they thought about this. They thought about this. But basically, Temporal Rift... Actually, I'm gonna keep this. This is gonna be like some... Let's use this as like a... As like a get out of jail free card. Basically, if I find myself on low HP, I can press this button and get teleported back, in theory, to 4 seconds ago with the HP and mana I had 4 seconds ago. That's how it works, right? Reserves mana to apply a buff and leave after images of your recent past. Cast the spell again to return to the oldest after image, teleporting to that location as well as resetting your life, mana, and energy shields you had then. So I was thinking you could use this and reset to full energy shield before you cast energy blades, but that's not how it works. All right, that's fine. I'm actually gonna use Temporal Rift for myself. This seems like a pretty cool skill, actually. I forgot about it. So like anytime I find myself going, oh shit, get out, we can press this button and get out of there. And it doesn't reserve much. 8.13% mana. Normally it's 10%. Yeah, it's a small amount. It's the oh shit button. Okay, gotta remember, there is a trial in this area. Although one thing about using Temporal Rift is I need even more mana reservation to run Grace. I'm not dying as much anymore. I don't know why. Maybe I have more damage, maybe I have more defenses, I have max resistances. I don't know what it is, but you know, all of these things combined kind of translated to I'm not dying as much anymore. But just having additional utility skills is still a good thing. Should have tried it on zone transition. Hey, that's a good idea. I really doubt... maybe I don't. Hold on. Nah. Maybe if it's like the same kind of zone. You know what I mean? Like these two are the same, but maybe if I was in like upper scepter of God and I went up a floor, I would imagine it might work. But if it's like a completely different zone, it wouldn't work. We can try it later. But what would we get out of that? You lure a boss to the door, you hit him a couple times, and then you transition out. Would be too broken to get out of boss arena. You know, I could see that happening, actually. I could see it. Alright, what if like... Ooh, here's some new tech. What if it's like I'm gonna hit this time crank, and I transition back, and then we run through it. You know, like when you're doing labs where you need to go into certain zones. There's got to be better use cases than that, but you know what I mean? I mean, in here, it really doesn't matter as much. If you can get through this area in 4 seconds, you can, like, get all the way back to the front. If you can go through a heist in 4 seconds... Actually, it might work in heists. If you're just, like, blasting through the heist, and then the door locks on you or something, you could try and, like, temporal rift into the next room. What else would it potentially work on? Oh man, I didn't mean to press that button. I just got blasted. I got blasted into the past, man. If slower cast time would increase time heist, that would be cool. That would be cool. Like temporal chains somehow affecting temporal rift. Yeah. Although that would seem like really... Oh. Yo, this thing's actually really good. If you find yourself on pretty low HP, instead of hitting the pot, this is the first thing you hit. Actually, I was just messing around with this skill, but... it's actually great so far. Like, it's so much better than an instant pot, right? In theory. Unless you go back to 4 seconds ago and you were like half dead 4 seconds ago. In which case it's not. You're actually just killing yourself at that point.
When I'm ready and not before.
But it's, you know, if you were full HP 4 seconds ago, it's an instant life pot. Which is just awesome. 99% reduced action speed, lightning warp heist works wonderfully. Somebody get that guy on temporal rift. True. Although you gotta build around that, right? I saw a video of that where the guy basically, for those of you who don't know, the way lightning warp normally works is you cast this thing and then at the end of its cast time you teleport there. But you can reduce the action time on lightning warp so it casts super slow and it takes like a full minute to cast. So that means in a heist you have a full minute to run through the thing, and then a minute later you get sent back to wherever you casted, which would be the entrance. So the idea is like you just you do the complete, you run so fast you complete the heist in a minute, and then at the end of that minute you just get sent back to the front. It works. I think that's how people used it. But it just seems so extra. You know what I mean? Temporal chains though is just like a couple skills, like it.
The walls are
What does it reset? It resets your... Hold on. Life, mana, and energy. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I was... That time I actually needed to use temporal chains because I got stuck. Life, mana, and energy shield.
Too much clutter.
You know, you can use it for quite a lot of stuff. Like, you could... There's stuff that doesn't reserve energy shield. Or mana. Like, if you're playing some kind of archmage, or something where, like, it consumes a lot of your mana. What's that? Mana Bond? Is that the skill? You could potentially cast Mana Bond and Temporal Rift. So, like, you use up all of your mana. Or all of your energy shield, and then you just go back. It's doable. It seems like maybe too many clicks, especially since the trend of PoE is to just kill everything in a couple clicks without having to do all those extra clicks, right? But for survivability's sake, you could like do a extra big buff and then go back. Like the Vol Righteous Fire, you know, where like you just reserve a bunch of life. It's not reserved, but like you burn a bunch of life. You could that could potentially work, right? Wow, this is a cool helmet. That's really good. Life, triple resistance. If only I didn't have this Honourhome. God dang it. Well, you know what? Oh, I can't. Wait, no. I was like, I can't Krangle this, but I realized it still hasn't fully absorbed all the corruption yet. This is no. I mean, really, I'm looking at weapons. I'm just trying to get +1 to chaos. Let's take a look at this 4-link. It could be good.
And not before.
No. Alright, let's keep going. Oh my god, there's a lot of stuff here. Whew. I just love how Krangle is the official term for the mechanic. Yeah, GGG didn't even decide on it. It's just that's what the community decided on, which is kind of funny. Reduce cast speed, cold resistance. Huh. I do not like that reduced cast speed. Well, let's try Krangling it again, I suppose. I love the term. I love the word though. Krangled. It's just such a funny word. And like originally that word came about because people were talking about how confusing all the words are and how like GGG just likes to make up words, and somehow the community decided, you know what, let's make up this word and just stick with it. Can I reserve grace yet? No, I cannot. That's fine. I still need quite a bit more reservation. I should probably look into, what should I do next? Leech Mastery. Where can I get Life Mastery? Wait, what's hitting me? Life Mastery. Energy Shield Mastery. You gotta put this thing around quotes. Life Mastery. I'm surprised quotes actually work in this game. What's this? Recoup this life, okay. Up there? And here. Okay, I'm gonna get these 4 nodes to get the life mastery so I can get 100% reduced mana reservation efficiency. Or increased mana reservation efficiency. So that I could potentially run Grace. Ah, Jesus. I didn't want to go into Krangleverse. I was trying to drop mines. Why is it all in the same key, God damn it? Where's the person? Over here. If you drop Temporal Rift, you could probably reserve Grace. You think so? Oh, you're right. But then I'll be left with 8 mana. 8! Alright. Well, once I'm able to reduce the reservation on Vitality, I should be good. Eight is all you need?
When I'm ready.
8 mana in a dream.
Survive.
Do this. I like that we're still seeing a good number of excavations. Because I did like excavation. And it was like, you get good stuff out of it. Just every single zone excavation, it was a little it felt like a little much. But seeing it every now and then, and being able to automatically get these artifacts, being able to automatically get artifacts is huge. Actually, that part is huge. I actually like it a lot. Okay, so we're gonna continue using Temporal Rift until I can actually get a little bit more mana reservation. It's gonna come from two places, I think. I'm gonna need like 8 levels, 9 levels. 4 points into life, and life is never bad. And then 1 point into vitality has 100% increased mana reservation efficiency, right? And then 4 points into aura effect, and there is 24% mana reservation efficiency here. And then if I still don't have enough, I'll pick up the mana nodes here, and that'll give me mana reservation efficiency on clarity. I'm investing a lot in order to do this, admittedly. Is it worth it? I actually don't know. I hope so. I hope it's worth it. Same deal with Harvest and Ritual. Ritual was better with Harvest. True. I don't remember, actually. Like, the thing is, sometimes certain League mechanics, I would like them, and I like doing them, but for some reason I don't like seeing them in every zone, because sometimes I just don't want to do it, but I see it and I feel bad that I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Like, if there was a, I don't know, I think excavation is sort of the example. Like, seeing it every zone, having to drop mines every zone, it was too much of a break. Like, the point of it is like, okay, stop mapping for a second. Here, go drop some bombs and do the excavation, right? And every now and then I'm fine with it. I actually kind of like it that it's like this. But having it in every zone and having to take a break every zone, I was like, it's too much. Harvest seeds were annoying. True. Harvest seeds were annoying. I agree.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Ralakesh.
All right, easy enough. Oh man, I'm destroying this coffee. I didn't have coffee all week. Same thing with alcohol. I've been trying to limit my caffeine. Not as much with coffee, but in the morning I'm like just too lazy to make coffee these days. I don't know why. Actually, do I know why? I think the reason is my wife normally makes it in the morning and she's been trying to limit her caffeine. So I'm like, oh, guess I'm not drinking coffee. But today I was like, no, I kind of need it. I woke up, I'm like, you know what sounds real good? Some coffee. Hell yeah. Soul of Relikash, Abarath, Tukahama.
Hello.
Relikash. Reduce physical damage over time taken while moving. Moving while bleeding doesn't cause you to take extra damage. The bleed is pretty good. But Rislatha. Life Flask gain 3 charges every 3 seconds. If you haven't used a Life Flask recently. That's a pretty good node. I really like it. Yeah, let's stick with this. We'll keep going. Hey, it's been an hour, so let's stop the YouTube video right here. We're gonna keep going on stream, right? But for those of you who are watching on YouTube, hey, thank you very much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, you can leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more updates in the future. Otherwise, keep in touch, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.